I'm constantly distracted from projects I'm working on to answer questions I've answered ad nauseum in my blogs, video content, posts, and comments over the years. But I wanted to take this opportunity to share an exchange which is a common one I encounter. So let's consider this an FAQ to which I am offering answers to be referenced moving forward. First, I would like to deeply and sincerely thank everyone who has ever made the attempt to share my work with others as a workable and viable solution to our collective problems. It is you who will help to turn the tide and aid in saving humanity from our planned dystopian future. You have no idea how truly grateful I am to each and every one of you who have helped to spread the word that we have the power in numbers. And once we direct our energy towards implementing a real solution, we will change the world in our favor and the benefit for all future generations to come. So here's the exchange from a comment section on a post about transhumanism being the world's most dangerous idea, to which I don't disagree is amongst the most dangerous ideas promoted by our technocratic overlords. I didn't actually comment on the post, but I did like it to help promote this person's work. It was another friend of mine who posted a link to my open letter to my petty critics blog in a sub-comment saying that transhumanism is the death knell for humans, leaving the below comment. Here is an alternate system that can be tried out from Jake Jackson. To which the author of the post replied, I admire Jake's energy and I have even read/reviewed some of his work. What I still don't get is how he's addressing, number one, big business now control most if not everything we need to survive. 2, we collectively create an umbrella BAU, which stands for business as usual, model that masquerades as our world to live. 3, this world is already legally more pro-artificial persons than real people. Any idea how he's planning to build an alternate system to that? He tagged me to answer the question, to which I responded, it takes looking into my work and proposals to fully understand how we take back control of all of the above and more. Those who have fully understand the power behind my ideas and are now helping to create the critical mass necessary to implement the transition to a society based in natural law. Once we align with natural law, all of this illusory reality will dissolve. It's only real right now because the powers that control the BAU model control the money and media, and thus lives and beliefs. We are creating our own breakaway alternative, and once enough people realize that we outnumber the BAU controllers by nearly 1,000,000 to 1, based on David Rothkopf's estimation in his 2009 book Superclass, we can simply walk away and render their system, including all of their illegitimate debt, obsolete. We don't owe any of it and have no obligation to remain part of the BAU model. We have enough people to create a new reality, and it's as simple as doing that. The obstacle is people's minds and dogmatic beliefs programmed from birth, but the numbers and momentum are growing in our favor to break free of our chains. They pushed the Overton window too far with the pandemic, and millions are now awake to the deception of the entirety of their agenda. They are aware of what is now transpiring at Davos, and I'm seeing more posts than ever mocking this Hunger Games kakistocracy. All it takes is an idea and the will of millions to implement it. To which she responded, the point is, how can it be implemented systemically? Reading is not implementation. I then wrote, everything has a process. That process is underway. Eventually we will be the market, and they will have to abide by our terms in alignment with natural law. It's explained in my work. It's a simple idea with a powerful outcome if implemented by a critical mass at once. It cannot be realized without achieving a critical mass of people with the will to transition to a new system outside of the current status quo. But it is the only thing that will render the predator class powerless, as their power comes from the energy they illegitimately extract from us via debt, inflation, and taxation. once we remove our energy from the system, it will starve. But we must build the alternative first. However, we can't build the alternative until enough people are on board and behind this idea. We need resources, and we need to attract the right people to build the infrastructure before we can make the transition. So my work is about sharing the vision and shifting people's perspective and perception of the false reality which has been programmed into their subconscious mind since birth to one of imagining this brighter future and that there is a way to manifest it. But it will require their effort to learn what I've learned and teach in a fraction of the time it took me to acquire the necessary knowledge. That is the essence of all my work. People must first reclaim the full capacity and power of their minds and envision the self-evident solutions once the root of the problem becomes crystal clear. She replied, "I'm trying to help, but you continue to cling to your own delusions." The opaque BAU rent-seeking model was in the making for centuries, if not millenniums. I'm researching that. It's also a way of thinking and doing wrapped around what Adam Smith observed as self-interest, as that's how we fuel the BAU machinery. Alchemy is the process of transforming one form of substance to another. Like how you willingly exchange what's real, example, your blood, sweat, and tears in the form of time, ideas, skills, knowledge, experience, energy, passion, rights, assets, etc. for fiat, often to an artificial person legally modeled on the original corporate raiders to have no greater God than greed. We have been groomed to perceive the BAU model as natural. Insanity is repeatedly doing the same thing and expecting different results. I have to stay out of Facebook to research and write. She clearly doesn't understand my work, my vision, or the process I propose to shift our trajectory onto a better path for humanity. I have written and spoken about how we willingly exchange what's real in my proposals and this interview I did on Labor Day of last year, 2022. The link is in the written blog on Substack. This was my response to the above comment. The fact that you refer to my work as my own delusions shows you don't have the capacity to think beyond the boxes into which you have firmly placed yourself. Those who have truly studied and understand my work and proposals call it anything but delusional. They see it as the only viable solution for humanity to free itself from the BAU model you write about. So that tells me your imagination has been stunted and you're stuck in the myopic prison of your own making. You have been black-pilled and see no way out, so you obsess on the problem instead of pondering how we get out of this mess, as I have with my work. There are 1,000 hacking at the branches of evil to one who is striking at the root. Henry David Thoreau. I am and have been striking at the root while you continue to hack at the branches. And I am in no way repeatedly doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. My work is so far out of the status quo that most have a hard time wrapping their heads around the profound truth of my proposals, because they are all founded and based in natural law, whereas the BAU model completely violates natural law and thus why the world has been enslaved to it. You fail to understand the omnipotent power of natural law, so you can't understand my work, where others see it clear as day. That is the only difference, and to you, that is somehow delusional because you can't see past your own blinders. Our only true future against the BAU model is to unite in a force large enough to render it obsolete and transition into the breakaway civilization. That is what people are finally beginning to understand, and I have known for well over a decade, which is why so many are now resonating with my work and sharing it with everyone they know. That is the key to our emancipation. We must unite and follow a single plan because that is exactly what our enemy is doing. They're all meeting this week in Davos to work on implementing our dystopian future. So we need a counter plan to stop that from coming to fruition. And if we don't have one we are cooperatively working towards implementing, then they will win and we will be forced to accept that one by default, or end up in a violent fight to try to free ourselves. I don't want to see either happen. So I have proposed a peaceful and nonviolent solution to our current situation and condition. Another person chimed in on this thread with the following comment, which is actually quite common from those who stumble across my work or comments on social media. The will of millions? Not possible. That is one of the reasons the cabal has tried to control us. Fragmented, argumentative, and some downright evil. Example, people tried to mow swans down in their speedboat. Others tried to hook them on fishing lines. This was my response to him. How many want to be free? How many would break free from the false left-right political paradigm if given an alternative option? How many would like to keep 100% of their income and pay only for what they use? I would say millions do. The problem is lack of imagination in the media to spread the ideas and viable options. But this is a grassroots movement to share these ideas, and the word is getting out. You can either continue to be part of the problem and complain, or you can be part of the solution and seek the answers which will free humanity. The choice is yours. We all have free will, but if we want true freedom, we will have to earn it. And I got the typical response almost everyone gives. Good luck with that. Klaus Schwab and his mob know this, have known it since 2001, and have been busy preparing. Actually, Klaus Schwab goes back to 1971, when he founded the World Economic Forum, but I digress. Did you not know that protesters in Australia in front of Canberra Parliament House had an LRAD machine used on them? Yes, I did know that. It was on the lowest setting, so my friend got itchy skin, tingling in their nerves, tinnitus in their ears, depending how near or far. Did you know they can ramp that up to kill shot? Yes, I do know that. One machine, thousands of people disabled. So exactly how do you plan this millions of people overthrowing your governments, and who is going to guide them? You? My follow-up to that comment was, this attitude is exactly why we are in the mess we're in now. You can only think one way, and that's the way you've been programmed to think. My mind works differently, and if you think there is no way out, you are right. You are part of the problem. I show people how we get out of this mess, but it is up to them to learn and share. No, I don't advocate for protesting at all in any of my work. So you are coming from a perspective of pure ignorance and projecting your false beliefs onto something to which you have no understanding. But that's what most do. People assume I have not thought about any of this, but I have been selflessly working on this for over 15 years, and I've spent over 45,000 unpaid hours to create this alternative option. Perhaps in that time, I have figured out something that you can't possibly imagine because you are still firmly stuck in the box you've placed yourself as well. You have been black-pilled after being red-pilled instead of seeking the white pill. Time to level up your game and work on solutions. It's the only way to defeat the enemy. We outnumber them approximately 980,000 to 1. We have the power once we can free our minds from the indoctrination that created our Stockholm Syndrome and learned helplessness. So this is essentially what we face moving forward. Either people won't bother to look at my work and proposals, or they feel nothing can be done, so they direct their negative energy towards it. And I knew that this would be the case because I understand just how damaged most people's minds have become from the litany of assaults on humanity over our lifetimes. But we can't just bow down to our oppressors, for surely then we will all be enslaved. We must do something, and that something must be peaceful, non-confrontational, and non-violent. By maintaining this position, we simply state we no longer want or are willing to be part of your system, and we are leaving to build a better world. If and when they fight back, use force, or tell us we can't leave, or we are subversive or insurrectionist, it only exposes them as the tyrants and control freaks they truly are. This is a checkmate move, and the only one that will make our transition as painless and seamless as possible. I have no doubt that I will continue to get this type of negative feedback as we move forward, but I am used to it by now and I know how to respond with diplomacy and tact. We must get people to change their perspective and to realize that we do have power and we can leave the system. We have no obligation to them or their legacy systems of enslavement whatsoever. We have no obligation to pay off the illegitimate debt burden they have placed on us via fraud and deceit. We can walk away and cancel most, if not all of it, and start anew in a reimagined system with a debt-free and non-speculative currency as I have proposed in my work. This is essentially how our founding fathers in America did it, and it's how we can do it as well. Violence is and never will be the answer. If they choose violence again, it shows their true colors and intentions to completely control our lives. If you ever want to be free, you must understand that this is exactly who they are and what they intend. They are parasites, predators, narcissists, control freaks, and quite honestly, they hate you. They don't want you in their world any longer and have only used you to build your own prison along with their ivory towers. Now you are disposable, as their technocratic panopticon is nearly fully set in place to control every aspect of your life if we don't break free. We can end this madness once and for all in one massive, peaceful action. That is the essence and the ultimate goal of the Freedom Project 2020. The creation of natural law republics around the world and the restoration of all power and individual sovereignty back to the people is the preeminent goal in a free and abundant society. But it will take the effort and will of millions to create this change. I have offered the vision, the roadmap, and the structure for the ultimate destination which will give everyone what they claim they want: to be left alone and to live their lives in peace as they see fit, without the fear of oppression or coercion from illegitimate authority figures ever again. If this is the future you want, the vision, roadmap, and structure of the society designed in harmony with natural law is laid out in my videos, website, and documentation. I can't magically put the information into people's minds or force anyone to act against their will. But the solutions to all of our problems are in the work. So if you want to create a better world and future, it may be worth your time to take a look and understand how we get out of this mess. Because I have yet to see anyone out there offer a better option or alternative.